Chapter 600, Language Arts by Chunyu led Zhang Yi into a room with a very comfortable temperature and exceptionally fashionable decorations. It might be inappropriate to describe it as gorgeous, but it was full of a modern style, and the furniture in the room was all cyberpunk style, giving it a vibrant feel. Bai Chunyu said to Zhang Yi, "You wait here for a while, our captain will come over after he finishes things over there." He then clapped his hands, and immediately a waitress carrying a teapot walked in and poured a cup of tea for Zhang Yi. "Thank you," Zhang Yi said politely, lifting the teacup and taking a sip of tea. Bai Chunyu left the room, and Zhang Yi surveyed the surrounding decorations while waiting for Deng Shintong. Outside was a large French window, and beyond it was a view of a garden and lake, or at least it used to be. Nowadays, it has all been frozen over. Zhang Yi thought to herself, although it is a large family from Blizzard City with a strong financial background, they are unable to heat the entire manor. Money is useless today, and resources are allocated according to the degree of contribution. Even large families cannot waste. After all, Zhu Zheng's side will not agree. The room is, after all, the cozy nest of a young man from a wealthy family. There is a soft sofa, a large TV hanging on the wall, and many game console cartridges thrown messily on the carpet. Zhang Yi casually picked up the remote control on the coffee table and turned on the TV. Unsurprisingly, it was all snowy. It would be possible to play games and the like, but considering the short time available, Zhang Yi dismissed the idea. Otherwise, if you don't enjoy yourself, it's better not to play. The waiting time did not seem long. Less than half an hour passed before Deng Shintong's voice came from outside the door. "Zhang Yi, you're here." Zhang Yi glanced at the time, 5:58. I didn't expect the captain of the heavenly squad to be punctual. Deng Shintong took off his jacket. His slender body was straight and strong, showing that he had exercised a lot. Zhang Yi looked back at him. "I just got here a while ago." Deng Shintong took out a hair tie from his pocket, tied his long hair into a ponytail, and then put on his slippers, before coming over to Zhang Yi. Creak. He sat down on the sofa with a loud thump and let out a leisurely breath, as if he had just experienced some hard labor. Zhang Yi looked at him curiously. Today, the captain gave off a very different feeling from the last time. "Is there something on my face?" Deng Shintong asked with a smile, his handsome face with a touch of evil charm. "Not really, it's just that you're so handsome, I can't help but stare." Zhang Yi replied with a smile. This time, Deng Shintong was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect Zhang Yi to be so unconventional. Not many people would speak to him in this tone of voice on an ordinary day. "Ha ha ha. You're really interesting." Deng Shintong slapped his thigh. "By the way, I heard that you didn't sign up for the operation to encircle and annihilate Neon. What were your thoughts?" An inexplicable question. Zhang Yi pondered for a while and replied with a smile, "There are 13 cities in Jiangnan. Even if the investigation team from Blizzard City and the Yan Yunwei don't intervene, there are still dozens of forces in the 12 outer cities. One more person is not an extra, one less is not a loss. Today, the city of Tianhai is in need of revitalization. As you should have heard, our families have all been severely injured. Now is not the time to fight." Deng Shintong rubbed his chin and nodded after listening to Zhang Yi's words. "There is some truth in what you say. But your strength is obviously much higher than that of other outsiders in the outer city. If you go, I think you have a better chance of killing the Ronin." Zhang Yi's eyes flashed with a strange light. What did Deng Shintong mean by saying that all of a sudden? "But I'm not alone. I represent a team." Deng Shintong smiled dismissively. "If you're not going, then don't go. I was just asking casually. Maybe your choice is better." Deng Xinlin knew the inside story, but there was no way he could tell Zhang Yi about it. And after hearing his words, Zhang Yi's suspicions became even clearer. It was probably really as he thought. The Eclipse Moon team in Linhai City was definitely not that easy to deal with. Next, Deng Xinlin said, "I'm not going to beat around the bush with you. You should know what my purpose is for calling you here today. What do you say, join my team?" Deng Shintong looked at Zhang Yi with a smile, spread his right hand and introduced to him the various benefits of joining the Heavenly Squad. The Heavenly Squad is the strongest presence in the entire Jiangnan region. Once you join us, you can walk sideways in Jiangnan from now on. You can enjoy supreme glory and be revered. Of course, if we're being vulgar, even if what you want is women or material goods, I can satisfy you. In short, you can get everything you want from me. Deng Shintong said this with a confident tone. He wasn't just blowing smoke up Zhang Yi's ass, he believed that if you became his subordinate, these things would be within your grasp. Of course, he did have the strength to do so. Zhang Yi sighed, "You are really amazing. I have seen many outstanding geniuses in my life, but someone as rich and talented as you is the first I have ever seen." Zhang Yi's flattery made Deng Shintong feel very useful. He reached out and tousled his long hair. "So, the world you have seen is still too small. But you have the opportunity to follow me and see a wider world." He held out his right hand to Zhang Yi. "Come on, become a member of my Heavenly Squad." Zhang Yi's eyes were filled with gratitude. This really touches me. Then after I join the Heavenly Squad, will I be extra safe and not in danger of my life? Deng Xinli smiled confidently, "Of course. I, Deng Xinli, have the ability to protect my team members." Zhang Yi let out a long sigh of relief. "In that case, that's good. I can join the Heavenly Squad," Zhang Yi said. Deng Shintong's face lit up with joy. But the next moment, Zhang Yi said, "But I'm quite afraid of death. How about I stay in the city and take care of the logistics for you?" Deng Shintong's smile froze on his face. You're playing with me, aren't you?" Zhang Yi blinked. "Didn't you say you could guarantee my safety?" "I think it's safest to stay inside Blizzard City." Deng Shintong's eyes twitched fiercely. "I want teammates who can fight. What use am I if you don't go out there?" Zhang Yi, however, explained, "I greatly admire your strength and breadth of mind. So if I join the Heavenly Squad, I will definitely be able to do better than before, right? If you knew anything about me, you would know that I spent all day in the shelter in Tianhai City and never took the initiative to leave. Even my abilities are mainly defensive. Abilities represent the true nature of aliens. This is my nature, so of course I won't take the initiative." Chapter 601, Return. Deng Shintong was a little speechless. He was not a fool and of course understood that Zhang Yi was politely declining his invitation. However, Zhang Yi had given him enough face, and his words were very clear. He, Zhang Yi, was a defensive genius who did not like to run around and take risks all day. It would certainly be inappropriate to let him join the investigation team. After looking at Zhang Yi for a few seconds, Deng Shintong suddenly laughed. He pointed at Zhang Yi and said, "You are indeed a bit interesting. You are slick-talking and obviously very strong, but you are so cowardly." "It's prudent," Zhang Yi corrected him. "But you will get bored being in that ghostly place all day, won't you?" Deng Shintong looked at Zhang Yi with amusement. "People, when they have great power, will always want to find a way to show it, otherwise they will always feel dissatisfied. Can you bear to stay in one corner for the rest of your life?" Zhang Yi nodded honestly, "Yes. Isn't it good to be alive? Besides, he's not living a life of hardship in the mountains. He has a great home, with no worries about food or clothing, and he's surrounded by beautiful women. He's living such a comfortable life. What's wrong with him if he wants to go out and fight with other people?" Deng Shintong. Deng Shintong's eyes were a little confused. He didn't quite understand Zhang Yi's way of thinking. But this is normal. After all, the things Zhang Yi wants, for Deng Shintong, he already had them all since birth. Deng Shintong's pursuit is to become a hero, to enjoy the supreme glory, and the thrill of fighting and killing. "You!" Deng Shintong pointed at Zhang Yi and was about to say something, but suddenly sighed helplessly. "Well, everyone has their own aspirations. Since you want it so badly, I won't force you. But if you change your mind one day, you can contact me. Of course, it doesn't mean that I want you to join my team that badly. I'm just giving you this opportunity. You'd better come to me sooner rather than later, otherwise once I meet a more suitable teammate, you'll just have to be the backup. Zhang Yi laughed inside, but said sincerely, thanks Captain Deng. I will definitely think about it when I get back. Although Zhang Yi rejected Deng Shintong, he also gave Deng Shintong enough face. Deng Shintong was not angry, but instead accompanied Zhang Yi for a long chat. Although Deng Shintong seemed very generous and acted like a complete second-generation rich man, he was relatively tight-lipped. It was fine to chat with him about food, drink and entertainment, but when Zhang Yi tried to get Linhai City information from him, he casually brushed it aside. Zhang Yi thought to himself, after all, he is a well-informed character, so he shouldn't be underestimated. The two men chatted for a while, and they got along well with each other's personalities. It got dark, so Zhang Yi got up to say goodbye. Wait a minute, I have a little gift for you. Deng Shintong snapped his fingers outside, and a waitress carrying a black box walked in. Zhang Yi looked at the black box and said, what is this? Deng Shintong smiled and said, just take a look and you'll know. Zhang Yi nodded, reached out and took it, only to feel how heavy it was in his hands. He opened the box and took a look. In the middle of the box, there were dark bullets placed densely all over. Origin bullets. Zhang Yi couldn't help but blurt out, there are at least hundreds of origin bombs in here. According to Lu Karen, the cost of an origin bomb is no less than 100,000. Of course, this is based on the price level before the end of the world. Today, with the difficulty of obtaining resources increasing and limited working conditions, its value has increased tenfold. Deng Shintong offered 100 origin bombs at once. One can only say that the rich kids are really rich kids. Zhang Yi looked flattered, Captain Deng, this is too much. I can't accept this gift. Deng Shintong gave a faint smile and waved his hand, saying, this kind of thing is nothing to me. But you need it, don't you? Just accept it, it will help you in the future. Zhang Yi saw this and no longer demurred, then thank you Captain Deng. If there's anything Zhang Yi can do for you in the future, please feel free to ask. Zhang Yi will definitely do his best. Deng Shintong nodded with satisfaction. Well, that's it for today. Next time you come to Blizzard City, maybe we'll have the chance to meet again. Zhang Yi turned his hand and stored the origin bomb in a different dimension. This technique still made Deng Shintong a little tempted. Zhang Yi took his leave and left the Deng family. Deng Shintong looked at Zhang Yi's departing back and felt a little regret. Because that kind of spatial ability is indeed extremely rare, if he can keep such a strange person by his side, it will make his future missions much more convenient. Not to mention that Zhang Yi's own combat power is not weak. Bai Chunyu walked up behind Deng Shintong and asked, Captain, is Zhang Yi willing to join our investigation team? Deng Shintong said indifferently, no, he refused. Bai Chunyu was a little surprised. What? She actually refused. You have to understand that many people would never dare to dream of such an opportunity, and he actually refused. Deng Shintong's mouth curled up slightly. That's probably what's so interesting about him. Heh, man, you successfully caught my attention. So you gave him a crate of origin bombs. Deng Shintong laughed dismissively, it's just a box of origin bombs, what's the big deal? As long as someone is useful to me, no matter the cost, I can accept them as my ally. Those who seek to dominate the world must not be stingy with trivial matters. Even if Zhang Yi doesn't join my heavenly divine squad, the favor he received today will make him remember the benefits I have given him. Bai Chunyu took a deep breath and respectfully bowed to him. The captain is wise. Your wisdom and generosity are admirable. Zhang Yi left the Deng family. The Deng family chauffeur was waiting outside. When he saw him coming, he invited him to get in the car and took him back. Zhang Yi's impression of the Deng family improved. He had originally thought that the sons of such big families must be arrogant and domineering, and that those who go along with them will prosper and those who oppose them will perish. But Deng Shintong's demeanor made him realize that not all second-generation members of big families are arrogant and brainless. Even if Zhang Yi did not agree to join the Heavenly Squad, Deng Shintong did not show any dissatisfaction with him. It's not bad to make friends with someone like this, Zhang Yi said to himself. He got into the car and returned to the apartment. After returning, the others in the team came to ask him how his chat with Deng Shintong went. After hearing this, everyone felt relieved. Fortunately, Deng Shintong did not make things difficult for Zhang Yi. Otherwise, if there was friction on the Tianhai City territory, it would not be a good thing for Zhang Yi. And they could not leave Zhang Yi behind. Shokor asked, "So what do we do next? Do we go back?" Zhang Yi thought about the group of aliens in Ozawa City, his eyes slightly lowered, and said indifferently, "It's time to go back. Prepare a gift for them on the way."